I'm your host, Jason Tartick, and welcome to Trading Secrets. We talk all things money on this podcast, and we're teaching all the stuff we just weren't taught in the classroom. Nothing supports this show more than liking, commenting, and of course, subscribing. Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today, we are joined by reality TV star and commercial pilot, Recchia. Rachel first captured America's attention on The Bachelor before becoming one of the co-leads of The Bachelorette Season 19, where she navigated love, heartbreak, and the spotlight in front of millions of viewers. She later returned to Bachelor in Paradise, further cementing her place as a fan favorite in Bachelor Nation. But Rachel's story goes far beyond reality TV. She's a licensed pilot, a career she's pursued well before the cameras. Today, we are going to talk all about the financial realities of working in aviation, the money behind reality TV, and what it's like to build a brand with hundreds of thousands of followers, all sparked from dating on TV. Rachel, thank you so much for being on Trading Secrets.
I'm excited. I'm nervous.
What are you nervous about?
I don't know much about, we talked about this, finance, money.
Guys, we talked about a lot before the camera started rolling.
We
One
always
of the things
gossip.
Rachel said is that she has something to tell me after, but she refuses to tell me on.
I know.
So if I'm nervous, it's because I'm like, I wonder what it's about.
That's how I like starting my interviews.
Yeah. I feel like the first time when you and I connected at Art Basel like a year ago, and we were just like shooting the shit, we're like, I think there's a lot you and I need to clear up.
I know. I feel like we've been like enemies behind different lines for like so long.
Yeah.
We have a truce now.
Well, I was never an enemy of yours, for the record.
Well,
you just have allegiance, and you guys have your Bachelorette community. Everyone's got each other's back, even if you don't know context. And you and I got to talk a little bit. We're friends.
We're friends.
Alliances.
Oh, yes.
Remember
alliance.
we have our secret
we
alliance?
have alliance. You're not supposed to say the
Oh,
secret
shit. Okay,
alliance.
sorry. All right, never mind. We don't have alliance. I take it all back.
We're friends with no secret alliance.
Friends, no secret alliance. All right, let's get into what we talk about here. So you're fresh off in this intro. One thing I didn't really get into, Perfect Match Netflix. So you're at ABC. Now you're fresh off Perfect Match. You're back in the reality TV dating game. I mean, it's like hot and heavy right off the press. How is that feeling just as you think about everything you've been through?
It's been crazy. Netflix is definitely a lot more tame. Like, it was so surprising. Coming from The Bachelor, we know how crazy it is when seasons are airing. And it's so hard on you mentally. And I was very lucky with Netflix. It's been like it almost wasn't on. And the episodes, they drop so quickly all at once. So people go at their own speed. So it doesn't feel like everything's coming in all at once. And it's just, you're drowning in it. So it's honestly been kind of nice.
I was recently asked by an executive at a media company, we'll call it that, and they said, what percentage do you think of people that go on reality TV in 2025 are going on just for what the show is and versus career? Like, what percent? And then they said, do you think that there's anybody today that is going into reality TV without a potential career in mind? I said to them point blank, right eye to eye, no one in 2025 is going on reality TV without at least 1% of them thinking of like impact of career. It's too transparent now.
Yeah.
So for you, was that one of your thought processes of going on? And then the second follow-up would be, you said it's been quiet, which has been nice on your mental health, but is that also a counter to maybe what would have been the goal of being on reality TV in 2025?
It's like so crazy because like I agree with you, like especially now with Love Island, and I even watched the reunion, and the amount of times they said for the right reasons. I'm like, not one of you on Love Island is here for the right reasons. Like that, like be so for real.
Right.
But it's funny because I went on The Bachelor and I had no expectations. Like all I wanted was to not get sent home night one. I just wanted like
I felt the same way.
Experience of it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is such an iconic show. And when it happened, I didn't even think about career because I couldn't think about like making it past night one. Like I didn't even pack for longer than 2 weeks. You can ask the girls. So for me, I went on for the initial experience of it and then was so shocked when I did actually fall in love because I was like, oh, this is real. So then going into The Bachelorette, same mindset of like, I know this is possible. I know I can find love. But I mean, obviously, since then, I didn't go into Paradise or Perfect Match being like, I'm going to find my husband. But I was always open to it. Like, truly, like, I think it's really important for me. Now, I would really like to be with someone who kind of knows what I'm going through. And when you meet someone and they're going through it at the same time, I feel like you can really, like, build that foundation. So I'm always delusional, and I'm always like, okay, this could be something. But yeah, the last 2 times were definitely more of like, okay, like, let's see what happens.
Yeah. When I went on in 2018, it was just like, I need a break from life. And if ABC's calling me, some kid from Buffalo, like in the finance industry, yeah, I'm going to go. Why not?
Like, it was crazy, right?
But I do remember in 2018, there were people from our season, and this was like my first intro, because I really didn't know much about social media at all, that one of the kids was saying, if you wear certain colors on TV during the rose ceremony, that'll like help your engagement on social media. And this was 2018.
But you went on like during the height of it, like the golden era.
It was popping then. But I remember saying to him, like, what do you mean engage? What are you talking about? I didn't know anything about this. And I totally understand what you're saying. Like, why not do it then? Give it a shot. It worked, Bachelorette. With this time around, so then after Paradise, were you thinking like, okay, this could help things a little bit then? Well, is that fair?
I was done. Like, really, like, people don't believe me. I was so done. But when I got the call for Perfect Match, I was already like going back to aviation, like going back to my job. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. But I was so interested because they were like, this has never been done before. We've never pulled from multiple shows. Yeah. And I think for me, the biggest thing with that was I wanted something of my own, because I've never got to be on my own. Like, I, was a co-lead, and then in Paradise, it was about me, and all my exes were there. And it was never like me by myself without a reputation. So I was excited to just like have something that was mine. Yeah,
I get like to do like your own, to be one of the first people.
Yeah,
from
and
ABC
I would be the
to like
only
go
one
to
there.
Netflix. Yeah,
like after Blake, I heard Blake wasn't going. I was like, oh, it really is. It's just me, and this is like going to be so cool.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, it didn't work out, but that really was my mindset, was wanting something that was my own.
Yeah, for sure. Were there any other shows after Paradise in between Perfect Match that did reach out?
Yeah, like I do get reached out to, obviously, and I'll always like take the call and see, but I don't know, it's really hard for me because I feel like I have such a different personality than what reality TV is. Like, I always think about people like Juliet, like who have that, like they know how to make TV, and I just don't think I have that. I like have more of a Bachelor personality. Like, I'm perfect for Bachelor and that side of it thing. So it would have to be like very like different and unique for me to want to do it. I don't know. Yeah,
I feel like you do make it. I mean, you do
cry.
Make good TV. You cry.
I do my own thing.
You make a splash. You do your own thing. Is this the end of reality TV for you, or do you possibly see it in your future?
I mean, I never want to say the end because I said the end after Paradise. I mean, who knows really what's going to come up, but I don't see another like something like Perfect Match or anything like that again.
Okay.
Who knows?
So TBD. Maybe. Yeah, you're open to it then.
If it like makes sense with my job, because I really do need to like start focusing on that more. So we'll see.
I love it. We're going to get into your job. We're going to go back to the beginning of the timeline. Before we do, though, I just want to touch a little bit more on this. It's been a little quiet. It's been different. So you guys had a very successful season. Do you think it's because the pinnacle of Bachelor was so high then? Or do you think this is the result of like being on a reality show in a streaming service versus network? Like, why do you think it is quieter?
I think Bachelor fans are just like on another level, and I love them. Like, they're so invested. Like, even to this day, like even if I wasn't on a show, they want to know what I'm doing and who I'm dating, and I want to show them all that. But I feel like Netflix, they're just have it on in the background. It's not like they're sitting down having parties. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Love Island, obviously that's the big one right now, but it feels like anything that's not Love Island right now is just on in the background. But Bachelor and Bachelorette will always have that like die-hard fan base, and they're gonna let you know when they're pissed at you and when they hate you and when they think you're like the worst. So I'm just not getting that influx of like comments and messages that I did on The Bachelorette, because that was like crazy, and I'm sure you experienced it on The Bachelor.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like you said, The Bachelor fan base is so invested, and I think that's why so many people, like, that's why honestly a lot of this podcast exists, is because people's life and career change so much after the show because of how invested they are into your life. And it's also so interesting to see that it's different being on Netflix. Have you seen, as far as, again, on this podcast, that's why a lot of these questions are focused on this, on the business side. That's really a lot of this entire point of the podcast. But have you seen like business lift? Have you seen things on social media become more advantageous for you from being back on reality TV?
Honestly, it feels kind of like the same. It feels like where I left is still where I am. Like, I am so lucky. I do get so many like amazing opportunities to do things from just my time on The Bachelorette. But I don't know if necessarily Netflix is bringing those, I think they would have still come in, but I do feel like grateful to now be a part of the Netflix family.
Sure.
And I mean, there are things now that like, I'm like, oh my gosh, the friendships and the things I get to do just opportunities wise through that is fun. But like business wise, I feel like it's all from The Bachelor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fascinating. It's so cool to hear both perspectives. Let's go back to day one. So commercial pilot, where were you working?
So when I got cast, I actually was working at my college as a flight instructor, and I was graduating at the same time. Okay. So when I got cast, I wasn't even like finished with 2 of my licenses, and they were like, can you get here in 2 weeks? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about the weather, about availability. Like, I might not get there. And it ended up just working out perfect. Wow. And I got there like in the nick of time, but it kind of sucks because being a teacher is not like the end goal. Everyone knows it's like a stepping stone. So I have to keep going back to this like stepping stone in between going on shows. So that's difficult.
And so when you do all these licenses, what's the end result of that then?
Everyone wants to do something different with it. A lot of people will normally go the commercial aviation route or like private. It depends on your lifestyle, what you want from it. I've always wanted to go commercial because I love to travel and I want my family to benefit from me and like be able to travel and see what they want to see as well. So that's like my end goal.
How long is that process? Like how many licenses do you have to go through and how long does it take to become commercial or private aviator?
It depends. Some people will go through the military or like private flight school, but I did it in like unison with a degree. So I was in college at the same time I was in flight school. So I would go to the airport and I'd come back and go to like physics. Like, so
wild.
I did it at the same time. So it took me like the normal college time and then COVID hit. And then I had to take a year off for that. And then I had to come back and finish up just my licenses. But
why didn't you, like, obviously Pilot Pete was such a big like name. Why didn't you get why did the Pilot Rachel thing stick?
I mean, I think it does stick.
Yeah, I know, but like people, like when Pete, literally, I think people refer to that's your Instagram handle. But when like people see Pilot Pete, I think they just scream, "Yo, Pilot Pete, Pilot Pete." People always see you, and it's like Rachel. They didn't like. I don't know.
I know. I think it is probably because he works for the airlines, and I work as a flight instructor, and people don't see that as like as serious. But I also just feel
it
like
is as serious.
Yeah, well,
of course it is.
Yeah, in a way, but it also like isn't my full personality. Not saying that is Pete's full personality, but I mean, if you're my friend, I feel like I don't even really talk about.
I've never,
work.
I've never heard you really talk about it. I've never.
So
it's
like
I
don't feel like people associate it because I have like these other facets of me, which
of course
Pete also does. So I don't know. It really just is synonymous with his name and not as much me.
I love it. Okay, we talk a little money on this podcast. What do you like? How much on average do you know pilots make? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, it's pretty good.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I would have no idea.
Yeah, my best friend actually, he just got moved up and he's captain at a regional. Okay. And he's making more money than like anyone I know. Like, and he's not even in the main lines.
150,000?
Like upward.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know that for sure, but he also like does extra things. Like he is also a teacher in that space as well, like teaching first officers. So, I mean, there is a lot of money to be made, but it's a very expensive career because you're in so much debt for a long time unless you're
because
just
of the cost of
going
school.
Military. Yeah, the school is insane, and that's what holds a lot of people back.
How much does the school cost?
Well, for me, it was with my college tuition and I was out of state, so I think I'm looking almost like upwards of like $200.
Damn.
I spent, yeah. So it's just so expensive. Like I think getting my multi-engine license alone was like $10,000.
Yeah.
And that was like a 2-week course.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's just with teacher and fuel and just everything that goes into it. But it's a very, very expensive course. And there were times where I'm like, I just don't think I'm going to make it. Like I don't have the money for this. But I was always lucky to like be able to get a loan or things like that, but it's expensive.
That is wild. So you take a break from that because you immediately go on The Bachelor. How did The Bachelor find you?
I applied.
Let's go. I
love
it.
Applied. I was like going through a really tough breakup.
Yeah.
And you know, like I feel like it's just such a girl thing in college to be like, I'm gonna apply for The Bachelor. Like fuck him, I'm applying. And I applied and then they contacted me and it like the process happened so fast. I was cast within like the month.
Damn.
I know. So I was so lucky. It just felt like it was meant to be.
You know how they've been showing everyone's like their videos that they submit?
Did you see mine?
No, I didn't. I was going to say, did they show yours? Wait, what'd you do?
My video, the whole thing was at the airport.
Oh, that's good.
And they were like, can you please go back and like film your day to day, which I spent all my time at the airport. And my best friend, Nate, we would sneak in after hours, because if I had done any of this in front of the other boys, like they already made fun of me and they already didn't like me and didn't respect me. So I'm like, I can't film for a reality show in this airport. So we would sneak back in and that's where I did my video.
Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. So you go on the season. For those that listen to this, not all listeners of the podcast are fans of The Bachelor or from Bachelor Nation. So to give people perspective, Clayton Echard is The Bachelor. You go on that season. He falls in love with all of you guys. He has sex with all you guys. You guys find out. It becomes an absolute utter shit show.
Yeah.
He then ends up with Susie, and then you and Gabby are left. And how quickly after they stopped filming did you know that you would become then the Bachelorette?
I found out when the world found out.
Oh wow.
That
was real.
Yeah, and it sucks because I know they wanted it to be a surprise because they assumed me and Gabby would like tell each other, but I was still like fully working my job. Like I had to quit over the phone. I was nowhere near like mentally or bodily ready to be elite. Like I would have quit my job and been in the gym every single day. And I was just off work for the weekend to film AFR. And I assumed, I'm like, if I don't know by now, it's not me. I assumed it was Gabby. And then they had us go sit on stage together. And I go, do not let me go out there and embarrass me and give it to Gabby in front of me. Like that is so mean. Like I know that's what you're about to do. And then they sat us down and we got it at the same time. And then we started filming like 5 days after.
And you had no idea?
The boys were in quarantine already for our season and we didn't know.
That is insane.
I didn't even have time to get lip filler. No time for anything. They literally said, get right to the mansion. And me and Gabby were just like 5 days later there.
Oh my gosh. That's all right. So in the career side of things, at this point, you finish filming. And then there's like, how long is that before you find out? 4 months, right? 3-4 months? Yeah, so you found out you were the Bachelorette in Surprise in
March.
On AFR,
yes.
right? And that's in March, and then it wraps in when, November, December?
Yeah, it was 4 months. So we got out right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then I was like depressed for like a month, and I just like was so upset. I couldn't get out of bed, and they were like, can you come start doing interviews for Bachelorette? I'm like, no. Like, I wasn't faking that. Like, I'm not ready. Like, what do you mean? And like, no, the fact that you feel that way means you should be the Bachelorette. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And so we started interviewing like right away. And then March like was AFR and then it all went right in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
When you said that it took you a month to like you were kind of in the weeds with it and like struggling. I remember when I got off, it took me like a week or so. I didn't go nearly as far as you. I got dumped at the fantasy suite dinner table. But I remember it was about a week or so, and I snapped out of it pretty quick. But then when I watched it back, I remember I got like really sad.
Yeah.
For that month, like, looking back on it, do you think you were in love with Clayton?
I mean, yeah, I think I was. Yeah. But what I think made it the hardest was like when we left, we were under the impression like he was single. And that like we didn't know he got back together with Susie until AFR. Like that's when we found out.
You guys, no one talked or anything.
No one told us.
That's
and I think
rare,
they also
I feel like
wanted
in this
to keep
world,
us.
Everyone's like.
Yeah, I think they wanted me and Gabby. I think Gabby got over it immediately. I can't speak for her, but I think they wanted us in the mindset of like they didn't want us to focus on that. They wanted us on Bachelorette. So no one told me.
Interesting.
And so it was like this. Why, if you're single, are we not? It was just kind of like me kind of holding out a little. Like,
of course. Well, the door's
maybe
still,
we'll get back together when you see it
closed?
back.
Yeah.
So it was hard because I just felt like there was still this like chance because I didn't know about Susie at the time.
Yeah. Wild.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. When you go back to work, how quickly? Like, so you get off filming. When do you start work again?
I did it so soon after. I want to say like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after.
And you're a flight instructor.
I was instructing, and I remember the producers, they were like, don't go back to work, like take some time off.
Sure.
I think kind of telling me like, you're gonna be, and I was like, no, I need this or I'm going to go insane.
Yeah.
I have to fly. I have to throw myself back into life. So it was very, very quickly.
Can you say like what flight instructors make?
Like minimum wage, like sometimes like $15, $11, depending on the state. It's very, very, very low because people know it's like, it's a very quick turnover. People just are there for 6 months. Yeah. And then they go to the airlines. So
that seems like bullshit.
I know.
Like the people that our pilots are learning from, they're being instructed by, are getting paid very like close to minimum wage.
Yeah.
That seems like asinine to me.
I know. It's really tough, and you're basically just doing it knowing that one day you'll make money.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you're doing it.
So the idea is you're putting this time in, so then eventually you're going to become a licensed pilot.
So by the time you're instructing, you're done. Like, you're just getting hours to be hired by an airline.
Got it. Okay. And how many hours do you need?
So if you have a restricted ATP, which means that, like...
What's ATP mean?
So it's like basically this license that says that you like can go to the airlines quicker. That's in short story what it means.
Okay.
So I only need 1,000 hours.
Okay.
But if you don't have that, you need 1,500.
Interesting.
So typically once I'm up there, like once I start getting up to 1,000, I can start applying with the airlines, basically is what it means.
Okay, amazing. Well, I can't wait for you to do that and hear about that career. I'm going back into your bachelorette announcement. Before I do, my curiosities are killing me. I got to ask, and you're instructing, because all I'm thinking about is like your training. So there's obviously simulations and you're going through it all. Was there ever like a very scary experience in training to become a pilot, like a potential like crash, or
like
did you crash in a simulation? Yeah.
So all my scary experiences are like by myself, which is funny. One was when I first got my license. I was a fresh pilot, and you're not allowed to fly in the clouds when you're like only have your license, because it's like visual, like you can't. Getting in the clouds is a different license. And so...
Wait, what?
Yeah, so you get your private pilot, and then your instrument rating means you can go in the clouds, because you're just focusing on the instruments. You can't see anything.
Okay.
And that
so
one's
you have
a
to
really
stay
tough
below
course.
the clouds then?
Yeah, or just like on a clear day.
Okay, got it.
And one day I was flying, and it was a clear day, and I saw something on the radar. I'm like, this looks weird. Like, and my instructor was like, no, it's fine. And I was flying back alone on a cross country, and the clouds just start getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And then I'm in the cloud, and I can't go any lower because there's a certain altitude you have to fly above mountains.
Okay.
And I've learned in basically Appalachian Mountains. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is the lowest I can go. And air traffic was like, are you in some weather? It starts hailing.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm going to die. Like, I'm the newest pilot, and they're just like walking me through it, telling me what headings to stay on. So then finally, like, I did get out of it and land, but that was really scary. And then one time I had an RPM gauge failure, which I thought was an engine, because that is showing your engine.
Oh, wow.
And I thought it was my engine. And so I thought I had an engine failure, and then I like landed in the middle of like Indiana or something, and I brought it to maintenance, and they were like, I'm like, it's RPM, right? Like, I don't feel any roughness. And they were like, well, we can't tell you that. Like, we don't know. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to go, because I think it's the gauge. And it ended up being the gauge. But yeah, that was really scary, because I flew home with like my gauge just in the red. Probably illegal, but I just had confidence that's what failed. So
that is crazy.
Those are my two stories.
I mean, when you're in the clouds and it's hailing, I'm assuming as a passenger, you do nothing, right? You just let the plane go.
Well, yeah, and then you kind of like turn on, some of the instruments can get clogged with like when it gets too cold.
Oh, okay.
So I knew, I was like, okay, just turn on all the heating. I'm in the smallest plane. It's not very advanced.
Yeah.
Just turned on all the heating I could, and then I just sat there and just tried to keep it level.
And just prayed.
And just, they told me, they're like, go this direction. We're watching out for you. Like, you're not going to hit anyone. I was like, there's nothing I can do. I can't go any lower. And our airport was like the next one to land at, basically. So
unbelievable. A warrior in the sky.
No,
on
it was
our
crazy.
TVs. I mean, to keep your composure in those moments, like clearly you got some practice for the television. So then let's fast forward. You're in Bachelorette. They announce right then and there, your work doesn't even know. So you have to accept that. You obviously accept it, and then you immediately tell your work. And do they fire you?
Well, I called, and the boys there, it was all, I always say boys because it usually is, they all knew I was on The Bachelor, and they would talk about it and like, you know. And so my boss knew, and I called him and I go, I don't know if you heard. And he goes, I did, because everyone was talking about it. And I go, I don't think I'm coming in anymore. And he goes, I know. Just go, okay, thank you so much. Like, thank you for the opportunity. I'd only been working there the 3 months in between the season, and that was it. Never heard from him again.
That is wild. And you haven't gone back to that job since?
No, that job is in Tampa.
Okay.
And I moved right after the Bachelorette season. I moved to California.
Okay.
So.
And since then, you've been pursuing this. You haven't worked in the aviation space
as an instructor since Bachelorette. No.
Okay, gotcha. And are you going to go back?
I am. I need to figure out. It's hard because I really enjoy my life here, and all my opportunities are here.
Sure.
I don't feel it's the best place to teach because the airspace is very crazy in LA. I don't know if I need to go somewhere more like north to teach, or I have to see what that looks like. But since I've just been like getting my hours on my own, just like flying around and stuff like that. But yeah, teaching, it's going to take a lot of thought with that next process.
Cool. Going back to chronological order, you become the Bachelorette. It's you and Gabby. Did you, when me, Blake, and Colton were up for the Bachelorette and like went through the process, signed everything and stuff, we talked very openly about everything. Like, what is your contract? Like, what are you negotiating? Did you guys talk about that stuff? Like, do you have any idea where you guys paid the same, where the contract's the same? Do you have anything about that, or did you even talk about it?
Well, so at the time, it's so difficult because I knew that it was me, Susie, and Gabby all interviewing, or like what I was told or what I heard through the grapevine, because I don't know if it's true. I've never asked Susie.
Because that actually alludes to why you thought that he was single.
Yeah. So I thought everyone was getting asked.
Yeah.
And truly in my mind, I was like, if Gabby is up for this, it's going to Gabby. Like, I do not think there's a chance I'm getting this. So when they sent me the contract, they told me, they were like, well, this is the rate. We've only negotiated with one person, which was Emily Maynard, and she got the highest, and we haven't negotiated since. Like, this is the contract.
So they told you there's no budget on the
They
numbers.
basically said there was no budging, and I didn't think I was going to get it. So if I thought I had some power, like if I thought they really wanted me, and I was like, okay, would you do this, or could I add on this? I don't know. I just didn't think they wanted me that bad. So I just signed it to sign it, just because why would I not take the opportunity? I just didn't think it was mine to argue with.
Gotcha.
If you don't take it, someone else will. Like, all three of these girls want it. I didn't think I had that power.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Did you can't share how much it was, can you?
Can we?
Yeah.
I think it was like 110, 120.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's 120, actually. I can't remember.
Okay. So same across the board. You find out you thought it was going to be her. So then when you both get it, one of my questions was going to be, like, was that a challenging thing for you to share that?
Well, looking back, I'm so grateful she was there. Being a lead is so isolating and lonely, and I've just, like, we had the best time together, but it was challenging in the way that production was, like, I feel like, and they do to this day say that they didn't control a lot that went on, but it was just like the boys had all the power, and it was the most, like, the biggest ego hit I've ever had. My confidence, it took so long. It probably still hasn't recovered from, like, dealing with the way they treated us.
Yeah.
And, like, having the boys just, and it happened to Gabby too, just like, I don't like you because of this, and this reason, so I'm going to date your friend. And they just got to stay. And I just don't think I've ever really come back from, like, just having people be like, I'd rather leave this show than date you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, weren't you, like, because normally if you're cast as the lead, they know who they're getting, but they didn't know, and they had a choice. So the men just treated us horribly. And that was the only thing that, looking back, I'm like, I wish I never put myself through that, because it was so hard.
I never thought about it like that. That is bullshit, actually.
Yeah.
Because typically, like, in our experience, there's one Bachelorette.
Well, you had two.
No,
you didn't.
I mean, I was with Becca, and then I
weren't you on? You weren't on Caitlin's season.
I was on
you were on
Becca's season.
I always forget. I always think you were on Caitlin's. Okay, because Caitlin's season there was two.
There was two. They
so
started
they've done
with.
it before.
They've done it before. Yeah. With Becca, it was obviously just her. So when there's only one Bachelorette, it's the ultimate. It's kind of like the ultimate chase, the ultimate pedestal, and amongst the guys, there's one person. So like when you throw in, I've never thought about that. When you throw in the alternative, then there becomes like the conversation of like, okay, who are you more into? Why are you more into them? Are you connecting with them mentally? Is it physically? What like then you have to hear.
And we're so different.
Then you got to hear the differences. So like I never really thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. I hope they don't ever do a season with two people again, just for that reason.
I don't think they will. Yeah. And again, I don't regret it, because like I don't know what I would have done without her. Truly, but like oh my gosh, like watching, there was the rose ceremony where like 3 guys told me no. Yeah. And I remember every time after that I would sit in an interview and I'd be like, are you trying to get me to quit? Like, because they would throw obstacle after obstacle at me. Like, people would break up with me mid-season and go date Gabby, and I'm like, okay, you're trying to get me to quit. Like, you want the one, and you want the TV of me leaving and me saying I'm not good enough. Like, okay, just tell me and I'll do it. Because I don't think you want me here. And I just struggle with that all season of like, do they actually want me here? Or do they want that TV moment of one quitting? And they were like making it me. Yeah. So it was hard, because the whole time I never felt like the lead. I just felt like they wanted me to leave.
I'm sorry
I know.
that you dealt
No,
with
it's
that.
totally
That
fine.
sucks.
It's nice talking about it because I think people don't understand how much we actually went through on that season with the men.
That is a lot. Are you, forgive me if I'm just not caught up with the drama, and I don't really recall a lot of the history of the drama. Are you and Gabby friendly?
Yeah,
still?
no,
Like, you guys,
I'm her
everything was
biggest
good?
supporter.
Okay,
Like, truly, I'm so happy for her. She was born to be a star. Like, I was there front row and Dancing with the Stars. Like, everything she does, I'm so happy for her. And like,
That's right. Okay.
I
It's all coming
genuinely,
back.
I'm like, I love her so much. And we don't talk obviously as much, but I'm like, I'm so genuinely happy for her. And like, I want her to just have everything in the world.
Yeah, you guys have both done such a great job after it all. Do you keep in touch with Susie at all?
I actually do see Susie a little bit more often than I do see Gabby. Just like, I feel like we all run around kind of in the same group. We do see each other. But yeah, it was definitely a little rough for a little bit just because like it felt like when me and Gabby were the lead, it was like me and Gabby versus Clayton and Susie for a little. And so it was hard, but I feel like we're in a good place now.
You're in a good place.
Yeah.
I love that. All three of you are killing it. You guys are all great from everything I know. When you think about after The Bachelorette, and then because you went boom to boom, then you quit your job, now you're done with Bachelorette, you end up with this guy Tino, you and Tino don't end up together, so you're going through this roller coaster of just mayhem. And now you don't have a job, you're unemployed at this point. So talk to me a little bit about like what was the career navigation from that point? When did you start to see like money come in, and like what was the most surprising to you about this new era of your career?
Obviously the Bachelorette check was like,
of course,
very
that's
nice. That was life-changing.
Especially at that age.
And being
right?
like, I was at a minimum wage job.
Yeah,
so like
that's
having that,
huge.
and it really all just like saved it for like my loans and like things like that. But then I got so many incredible opportunities after The Bachelorette. Like I was actually so surprised because then I finally got to do brand deals and I was like, you're making this much money for a story? Like this is crazy. Like it was so life-changing, and I got to be like so picky with what I wanted and only doing things I really liked. So I was so lucky coming off Bachelorette and then immediately into Paradise. So it was kind of like the last 3 years I've been go with the shows. I haven't had a second to really be like, all right, now what? Because it's been one after another.
Yeah, interesting. When you think about that from a pilot perspective, you said some of these guys and girls are making $200,000. I'm going to guess that you in your career now are making more than you would as a pilot.
Maybe like kind of equivalent, but that pilot job, like the amount that my friend will work a couple days a week, like maybe, and out of the month, like not even that much, and he's making so much. So it's so possible for me to do both because this isn't forever, like this side.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm so aware of that. So I've just been like taking the shows as they come and like the opportunities as they come, but like knowing ultimately, I feel like that's so stable and such a good career for me to have.
So do you think if you stay, let's hit two road paths. Road path is you'd never do reality TV and you take aviation industry as a career, or you do the reality TV and you are where you are now. Erasing everything, you think financially you would have been more successful doing aviation only?
I mean, it's still there. Like, it's not that I haven't
No, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's
you
only
can go
been
back
like,
in a second.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, the reason I asked this question, it's such a unique answer. A lot of, like, let's say, like Kelly Flanagan, who was an attorney, or some other people, I'll always be curious, like, if you stayed as an attorney today, do you think you'd be making more or less? Typically, I'm hearing people say they're making more than they would in the career track. But again, they don't have career tracks like aviation captains where there's a ton.
Crazy, like especially if you move up. Like if you're a captain at a major, like Delta's, United's, like I don't know. I think that's why like I can't speak for Peter, but like there's a reason he's doing that. Like, yeah, this is like
that's
awesome,
that's a good point.
It's a great
I don't think
job.
Peter ever. I could be wrong. I don't know if he's ever not worked. Like even when he's been standby or like a sub, like he's done like his 5 months where like he's like taking his time off, but he's still like in their system and getting, I think, some form of benefits from or working from it. So you're right.
I just think
it's an interesting, career track.
Unless you're like super crazy, like, but I don't consider myself like an influencer or anything like that. I've just done these shows, so I don't know the possibility of like, okay, if I pursue this full time, because I've never thought about it, because I think I would just get so bored.
Why I love this conversation I have with so many people. Why don't you consider yourself an influencer?
Because I consider influencers the Alex Earls and the people who like build from the ground up, like this is my niche. Like I'm telling you to buy these things or whatever she's doing. But us, it's like they're just invested in us, I feel like, as people. Like people aren't really caring what I'm like, yeah, they love to know where my outfit's from or things like that. But I don't feel like I'm influencing people. Like, I mean, I have influenced people like to go like pursue aviation or to like do certain things like that. But I don't see myself as like that. I just see I've done reality TV and they're just like want to see what I'm up to.
I would say specifically from the Bachelor franchise, very specifically, the biggest thing a lot of us struggle with, and I can say us because I've had these conversations with individuals, and a lot of them, is identity. I think we get off the show and we're like, what are we? And we don't know. And like we go to a bar and someone's like, hey, so what do you do? And you're like, oh God, how much time do you have? Or
I literally
you're in an
lie.
elevator, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you're in an elevator. And the guy's like, so what are you doing here? What do you do for work? And you're like, oh shit, how much time you got?
Yeah.
Has that ever impacted you? And if so, what do you, if you had to define like what your career identity is now? We know where you could go instantly and where you will go. And that's so badass. But like today, what is it? Like, how do you feel about that?
I always just say I'm a pilot. Like I never.
Wait, you still lie?
I do. I lie. I put it on like anything I'm doing. I don't know. It just seems like, what do I say? I've done reality TV.
Yeah.
Like it feels like superficial saying it. It feels like, because I really have been doing that for the past 3 years, like genuinely, but I just say I'm a pilot. Unless I'm like, I think the only time I said I wasn't was when I was like applying for an apartment. And I was like, oh, I do like reality TV. And I told them that. Because I was like, because right now I think our money is a little bit, because they want to see like, I feel like they want to know where your checks are coming from. And I'm like, oh, like, you know, from the show or from this brand deal. And so it was hard to like, I was like, oh, I do reality TV. Like that's why it's all kind of sporadic. But other than that, I just say I'm a pilot.
It's so interesting. Now, there's a lot, like, I don't know what it is with Bachelor Nation that like we feel that way, but like
because we're just normal people.
Yeah, but like but other reality shows aren't like that. Like I'll give you an example. I know there's a show on Bravo in which they've considered casting people from The Bachelor, and
I know what you're talking about.
and they have a lot of desire to do so. But then at the end of the day, what they say is like, we can't do the Bachelor. Everyone is too media trained, too politically correct, worried about what everyone's thinking about them.
No, it's so true.
Too polished almost.
Even watching Perfect Match, you can tell me and Clayton are Bachelor.
Interesting.
Just
and
like everyone can tell.
And people are going to hear that, and I know I'm going to get comments of the response of, oh, you guys think you're too polished? Like I could give you all these incidents of this, and this. You're right.
Ourselves.
No one's perfect, but I'm saying in comparison, it's a different, like other producers have a hard time working with us because of like how like what I guess the gauntlet maybe we've gone through or whatever it might be. And again, I can't speak for everyone. I'm just speaking for like the little things I've heard. And then I connected to like Love Island. And these people come off the show from Love Island. They are pros. They are like, they know more about this industry than I have a clue about 7 years in, and I own a talent manager. I mean, they're streaming 24/7. You're hustling. You know, they're doing like 300 TikToks in a day. They are thinking about the product they're going to create and how they're going to become bigger influencers and creators. Like they don't only own it, they like crush it. And it's so weird how in the whole like influencer or content game, we're so, and I just talked to Grocery Store Joe about this at US Open, and Serena, we're so like, we tiptoe around, we don't know, should we not? And it's like, we don't know our name to it, what's our identity, but it's like, why? Like this is our path right now.
Like when you say that, because like, I don't know, I'm just coming off this experience where every guy I was with on Perfect Match, Love Island. And I'm Bachelor. And the way we would talk about things, like going into a boardroom or going into a challenge, and the way they think, and they think 10 steps ahead, and they think, okay, well, if we don't win this challenge and this, and that. And I'm like, I've never thought about that, because I think we're in The Bachelor, like we're normal people who are there for the right reasons, and we're picked up off the street, and you go and do the show, and then you go back to your life. And everyone gets so mad, like even when Michelle like quit the classroom, people are so angry when you don't go back to your normal life. And I've just
it's followed by hate, like a lot of hate.
They hate it when you like go in and say, I'm a teacher, I'm a pilot. Charity, she was in like the therapy space, or when you don't go immediately back to
Jen
that.
Tran, I think it was,
but she went back.
She went back.
Yeah.
But when she didn't, and she felt like she had to defend it so much, which is bullshit.
Yeah, it's not the same where Love Island, I think they know those people are going on to be influencers. Like I watched this season, I didn't think, Huda's going back to her 9 to 5. Like, I'm like, she's going to be an influencer. And so they have this audience that like is already there in support of that. And I feel like our core audience wants us to go back to our normal life and never see us again. Like, I genuinely feel like that's the way our audience is, and I could be wrong.
No, I believe that. One of the reasons I did this podcast is because of that. Like why are we fighting such an uphill battle to just be the reality of like what is? It just, for us, it happened earlier. By 2030, they say that the creator economy is gonna be a $500 billion economy. It's growing 22+% every single year. So if this is a space that we fell into because of reality TV, and you could also do a lot of good with it and make impact and educate and empower people through heartbreak of like things you learned, and talk about being two of a position that was just for one mentally impacted you and not being chosen, and who that makes you today. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that so frowned upon? Why is it so like, I can't believe you're doing that? You're doing the best for you and yourself, and for some people, their wives, husbands, and families. And I just don't understand why this is a massive negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
It really just is. The Bachelor's the one show that it's like you have to be here for the right reasons. There is no talking about like following, talking about this. Like anytime we've seen it on the show, like Bachelor in Paradise, how many years ago they were talking about their followers. Though like they get
completely crushed.
And it just is like, our show is the one show where it's like you have to be a normal everyday person who's coming on for love, and then once that time is over, then bye-bye. I don't want to see you again, kind of. It feels like that's the way they look at us.
And I think the reality is what you're seeing now, and what's even coming out in the Bachelor franchise, and actually has been for years, is that two things can be true, right? You can actually go and say, hey, it's worked for me before. I hope I find love. And hey, like if this could like work out and also positively impact our business and we could do cool things with it, great. Like two things can be true. I think the real root of the issue is like when the attention is just purely one direction, and then it gets blended, and then you have the negative perception from years and years ago within this franchise, and now all these Bachelor people, we tiptoe around saying we don't know what to say we are. We can't be influencers, that's icky. We can't do this, we can't do that, because the judgment, and then what happens, a lot of us just get lost in it. And
it's so easy to as well.
I know. And now the show is, I mean, it'll be interesting. Do you think, I'll get into Paradise in a second, but like, what do you think about the state of the union of someone who's been on Paradise, you've been the Bachelorette, you've been on the Bachelor, you've seen all three, like what's your state of the union? What do you think's happening with the franchise? What direction do you think it will go?
It's so hard because I love The Bachelor and I love the family, but now it's like the production's all different. I don't know anyone on the team anymore. It just feels like they consistently have made poor decisions. Just even like looking at Me and Gabby season, like you could have done so much with it, with like having the two women, and it chose to like go down the avenue of like people wanting to see pain and hurt on the screen. And I think the audience doesn't want that. They want like the lightheartedness, the silliness, which we're seeing in Love Island. They want a say in what production does. They want to know what's happening. And I think Bachelor, it's just like if you're going down the path of like hurt and humiliation, like people don't want to watch it anymore. So I don't blame them for like straying away. I don't feel like they listen to the audience as much as Love Island does.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, one question I asked you before was about your career path and earnings. This is about life, and you think about the next steps. Do you think if you didn't go on reality TV, at this point you would have found your person?
Oh, I'd be married with kids.
You think that was certainty?
1,000%, yes.
Wow, why?
Because it's something that I truly want. And I think if I would have just stayed on the path of like, I went to the airlines and I stayed in that, I would have it. The more you do this sort of a thing, like TV, it feels like the smaller your dating pool gets. Like I've tried to date people outside of this space, and like sometimes people are too private. They don't want it. They can't understand. And it can be a lot. So it's like, I feel like you're kind of in this position where like, now who can I date that will like kind of get what I've been through and kind of get me? It's been really hard, honestly. I mean, I don't know how you think.
It's, I was on The Bachelorette, right? And then I got engaged to a former Bachelorette, and then dated someone who is a well-known TikToker. So I've dated twice seriously of people that are public figures, and I don't have a desire to date someone that's a public figure again. And I will say, if you're going to then have a desire to date someone privately who's not in this space or industry, the level of balance, support, care, understanding, empathy, team, all of that security has to be at such a high, because the things they have to witness across their feed, their For You page, the history of you know, whatever it's celebrating their big wins or getting engaged or whatever it might be, the tears, all that, it's all documented and it's all out there.
I know, that's what I say now. I'm like, how am I supposed to date a guy
Yeah.
who's going to go home tonight and literally just Google Rachel Recchia and see a million videos of me crashing out on levels I've never done before? Like, how are they supposed to see that and be like, oh, this is like a stable person, this is like a person I want to date? Like, it just feels like they can look up so much about us, and like it's definitely hindering, I feel like, my ability to date. I don't want to tell them about this. And then I dated this guy in LA and I tried for so long. I was like, I'm not going to bring it up, I'm not going to talk about it. I think I got like maybe a month in before I finally had to. And it was just like, it's so hard to like hide that part of you, because like a lot of my friends come from the show are like, why are you living in LA? And it's like, you don't want to talk about that part, but it's such a big part of life. And then some people just don't want it. And I have to be okay with that. Yeah. It's crazy.
No, it is. Because, and even just talking about like if you date someone that's out of the spotlight, the history of you seeing them, you crashing out, which by the way, like everyone crashes out.
Not as bad as me.
The person, but I mean, everyone.
Mine are so
okay, you got some intense ones. Yes. I'll give you that. But then they also have to deal with the future of what that is, and it's people always thinking and speculating you're dating someone else or doing something. So again, it's possible. I think it just takes a very, very special person. And then the other like thing that I don't think a lot of people in this space talk about, but our conversation's going that way, is when you're in this space, you then, especially when you're traveling to the big cities and you're doing things at night, it's usually connected to like, I don't know, like either an event or someone that was on your pockets or something. It's like, hey, we're going over here, we're getting dinner here. So then it's like you go to these places that the same people in the same circles are running.
I know.
And like,
you know,
yes. You know what I'm saying?
You're referring to yourself, yes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I deal with something similar. Like me and Blake can't do anything. And then for the rest of like the month, it's Rachel and Blake are dating.
Yeah.
Rachel and Blake, I mean, you go through similar things too. But it is hard, because then put a partner in that, put someone who doesn't understand it in, and they're like, why is it saying that
like,
you're
what are you
dating
doing?
this person? Why are you out with this person? Why are you photographed with this person? Like, and then they just like don't understand it. It feels like I'm constantly on the defense, and I don't want to feel like that.
Yes.
Whereas if someone knows what it's like, they're like, they don't care.
But that's why I would say, like, when you said, like, what would it take? I think you just, if it's someone who is so, confident, like, just healthy and supportive and secure, which is everything that, like, you should want in your partner and vice versa, I think it could work. We'll see.
I know.
You and I will come back to the table and talk about how it's going.
Yeah, like I want someone, but like it's hard.
Yeah, I get it. All right, we could have a conversation about this for a long time. Let's quickly fast forward to Paradise. So you're the Bachelorette. It's around 110, 120K. You go back into this world full speed. You're getting some brand opportunities. You won't call yourself an influencer, but you're doing brand deals. I'm just playing with it. But then you go into Paradise. You're the second lead ever to go into Paradise at this time. The first one being Becca, who is our Bachelorette. Were you hesitant to do that? Did it take them a lot? Did you say, like, I need to pay double, I need to be paid the same? How'd you approach that negotiation business-wise too?
I don't know. It just kind of like started happening. They were really interested. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But then I like watched Becca, obviously. And I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe it was like meant to be, and my person's in Paradise. And it just feels like, because my time on The Bachelorette was so hard and like I didn't even end with anyone, it felt like I was never the lead. So I didn't go down feeling like, oh, I'm so important, I'm the lead. I felt like a normal person because I never experienced feeling like a lead even when I was. So I was just excited, like, to do something different, do something on my own. Like, this is me going down and being able to be by myself. Again, it sounds so stupid, but once you're like, you just want your own thing. And I was like, why not? And so I just took the chance. Obviously, looking back, like, I kind of wish I didn't, just because I'm like, there was no point. All my exes were there. I should have put that together, but it was fun. Like, I had a good time, but yeah, it was just probably not the best decision I've ever made.
Did it take, like, with Perfect Match, I heard on Vile Files, you were like, they
Easy.
called, and I was like,
Yeah.
cool. Was it easy for them to get you on Paradise?
No, I really, really fought them on it, and I said no, and it's just like they're so convincing. And then I talked to Becca, and I talked to, I don't know if you remember Megan Croft. Like, Lady K. We're super close, and
Lady
I talked
K,
to her for hours about it. And leaving for Paradise, there was never a point where I was like excited or I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this. It was like, it felt dread the whole time going, but I was just like, I don't know. Maybe this is like where I'm going to find someone. Maybe this is good for me to be by myself. And I don't really remember like the reason why I said yes, but yeah, I ended up just going back. And
How much did you get paid to go on Paradise?
I think I got base rate. I think I got 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone who doesn't go by like the day at the time. I don't know what they do now, but a lot of my friends would either get like base rate or day. And I'm pretty sure me and Avon got the same amount.
Did you consider going on Paradise this season?
No, I'll never go back again.
Why?
Because I need, that is the end of it for me on
like
The Bachelor.
The Bachelor world has, you've closed that chapter.
Truly. I don't think I could ever go back to The Bachelor and really get to be myself like I was on Perfect Match. I fully got to be myself. I feel like I'm always going to be in this box of like, I was a lead and I didn't find someone, and like you can't go back without everyone knowing you and knowing what they think of you from watching you on TV. We're Perfect Match, no one saw me. So it was like I really felt free, and I don't think I want to go back to feeling like that again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I was, in preparing for this, I was thinking about is these decisions do have a lot of impact on like what's next for you, especially with just like all things career and life, which is what we talk about on this podcast. And I saw notes somewhere that your family was telling you do not go on Perfect Match.
Yeah.
So people were advising against it.
Oh, my dad didn't even watch.
And still hasn't watched.
My mom said she would put it on and he would leave the room.
Okay. So I was approached to go on Perfect Match.
I know.
Okay. And so like I was like, do I say this? Whatever. Screw it. And then I said no for several reasons. One of the reasons being maybe similarly to you, like, there were several reasons. But one, the people like around me were just like, no, don't do that one. Like, don't do Perfect Match. Now that you've done it, and you know that your family said that and your dad still hasn't watched, do you have any regrets with that kind of business decision or
no? I think Perfect Match, I'm like so happy I did. Like,
I love
genuinely,
that.
like I was happy to go on. I had a great time there. Production, like they were so great. I think my dad is just he wants me to be a pilot. Yeah. And like I will call and be like, I'm going on Paradise, and he's like, when are you going back to flying? Like, he doesn't care about any of this. Like, this is to him not a thing. He's happy for me to get the opportunity. He's like glad I'm on my own and things like that. But he will never, like, after Bachelorette, he's like, go back to your job. There's no other thing. So I think he's just upset with me that I've been doing other things.
You're still ripping into it. Okay, I like it. I know for sure on the Netflix contract you cannot disclose anything about the payments, and you're in the weeds with it. So we're not going to get you in trouble there.
Those Netflix NDAs.
But hang on, let me know if you could do this. Can you say more or less than Paradise? Or let's do this, just to make sure you're certainly not getting in trouble. Hot, warm, cold. Hot being it was better than Paradise, warm it's around the same, cold. Okay, better than Paradise.
But everyone does get the same from what I know.
Oh, interesting.
Could be wrong, but I heard everyone got the same thing.
Okay. Biggest misconceptions and just like behind the scenes on those other shows. So you met so many people from other shows.
Yeah.
What did you learn about those shows, and what do you think are some things that you've learned from speaking to them about their experience?
I think it's jarring going from Bachelor where like we've talked about this. You're there for the right reasons. You do not discuss anything. Like you are there because you want to find love. And Perfect Match, it's so open gameplay. Like open, like how are we going to win this? How are we going to get into next week? How are we going to win? And like, I was just like, I don't know how to act in this environment because I'm like, I don't think like that. And for me, like, I feel like there was this like wanting of like the screen time and wanting to stay in, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like I've done Bachelor, like if I am in because I like what connection I'm in, I'm in, but I don't need to be here. Like So it just felt like a lot of people were like, it's very open gameplay.
So like it felt like more like premeditated, calculated.
It felt like they were doing a job. Like they're at their work. And I felt like I'm here for like to see what's going on.
Do you think, I have my opinion, do you think that worked out for those people?
Yeah, I think some of them look amazing. And I think they're great TV. And I think it's not The Bachelor. So we need the people who are just unserious and crazy. And you need all different kinds to make a show. But I mean, sometimes there would be people where they would literally be like, come on, guys, we're making TV. Come on, guys, do this. We're making TV. And I'm like, I'm not making TV.
Wild.
I will go home tomorrow. Like, I don't care like that. Which is like, you're like, oh, that's wild, but like it isn't, because that's their job.
That's the job, but I think it's wild from The Bachelor. Like if someone said that in if someone in Paradise said we're making TV, they would take that clip. He would become the biggest. He or she would be the biggest enemy. Yes. It would be like a whole thing.
Our minds are like
we're scared.
We're like
tiptoeing everywhere.
Literally,
it's so interesting.
And so it was like, oh my gosh, people would say that, and I'm like, they have a point, but like I don't know how to make TV. I do not know. So it's like they were doing their job and I was there, and I'm like, I really like you, and I feel like we have a connection, and they're like, yeah, I like you, but like I won't see you after this because this is my job. So it felt like it's definitely interesting.
It's another interesting thing about Bachelor World, and I'll never forget when I talked to Nick about this like really landed with me. Nick told me when it comes to like Reddit and comments and all those, he'll never read any of that stuff about him because he never wants any of that to ever change his direction. Like he'll then adjust because of like the hate or the comments. And I thought that was brilliant, because I do think a lot of our peers live in those comments, read them, participate in them in different ways. And I think that ends up them shaping them to like become a version of themselves that's not themselves online. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think even just like not necessarily seeing the comments, but like going from Bachelor to Bachelorette, I feel like there was like a huge change in me of like, oh, I don't want to do these things I did on Bachelor. I did something embarrassing. I don't want to act that way. And just from seeing the comments or what people said, I feel like I tried to change myself. And now I'm finally coming out of that where I'm like, I am me, and like I just have to be the way I am. But I definitely think when you have those things in front of you, it's like so easy to make that change, because you're like, oh well, that's like not good, I shouldn't do that anymore. I get what you're saying. I don't go on Reddit, but I do see the comments, or if like I see a video about me on TikTok, I'm gonna go through and look. But it's you know, it's never good. Like they never say good things.
They never say good things. All right. Well, you're off the show. This is your fourth reality show. Maybe more in your future. Maybe go back into aviation. You talked a little bit about comments that you read. The latest and greatest has been a little bit of a drama with Clayton. Yeah. Clayton made some guy. He was with you on the show. After 24 hours, he moved a different direction, and then Clayton talks a little bit about the fact that he was a little open-ended with the idea of why there were things that he didn't want to disclose that are reasons why he didn't end up working with you. And you had said it had to do with working out, like being active within the gym,
he just wants someone
with weights.
With that lifestyle that wants to be up and in the gym and eating a certain way and not drinking. And I mean, I think it is a lifestyle that I can't live. And I think being with someone like that, you would feel like they resented you if you don't do that. So I agree with him. It would be tough if like he's like, I don't want to have snacks and I have cookies in the house, or I don't want to go to the gym. It's like, it seems silly, but I really do understand it. Like, as much as I can.
Yeah. Are you? You've been through the gauntlet. Are you guys cool now? Is everything's amicable between you two? Yeah,
I was so mad. I called him so many times when that interview came out, and obviously I'm still seeing things of people being like, "That's not the reason." Because when I was on the phone with him, I'm like, "Can you just go on a podcast and say you don't like me and you don't think I'm attractive? It will put an end to everything. People can't question that. Like, can you just say it?" He's like, "No, I won't say it." I'm like, "Can you just then stop leaving these open-ended things? Like there's something really wrong with me." And he's like, "But that actually is the reason." I'm like, all right, like that's the reason.
Agree
then.
to disagree, let it be done.
Yeah, we're like, we talked and like we had a long conversation and we're good, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, the fact that like he was the last person I was worried about after this, and he's been like my biggest stressor during the press of this. So yeah, it was shocking for sure that we were going at it.
Wow. Wild stuff.
I know.
Well, I'm glad that you guys have like found some kind of calmness in this storm.
Yes.
One last or couple last questions I got as far as like your relationship with money now that you know, you're on your career track, you're on a different career track, you're making some good money now. Like, what is your overall relationship with money? Are you more of a spender, more of a saver? What's something maybe you overspend on? Give me a little Rachel Recchia money quick rapid fire. What's it like?
Yeah, no, I do feel like I save my money. I'm not a big spender. Like I need a new car. I need so many things. I'm like, I just use what I have. I spend the most money, probably a little bit more than I would like for my rent. And then my student loans are crazy. So I'm basically like, those are my two main things. I did make obviously my big splurge, like, sorry, this is like awkward, but like I got my boobs done. And that was like my big splurge for my bachelor money.
Can I ask how much it costs to get your boobs done?
Well, I got them. Well, it's like a more invasive procedure than like if you get like the augmentation, it's like super easy, but a reduction is like a big surgery. So the first time I think it was 15, and then I got another one and it was 10.
Damn.
So it was like ended up being, I got it done in Beverly Hills. I wanted to pick my doctor and not go through insurance, but that was like my big thing, and I haven't done a big thing since then. So it's just my rent and my student loans, really.
Good for you, though. That's how long is that? Like from start to finishing and fully recovered, how long is that?
The first time it was like, it took maybe a month. And then the second time I did it, like a couple days, and I was back up.
That's awesome.
It was less. But yeah, so those are my big purchases.
Good stuff. I love it. 25K. I'm glad you're living. You're feeling good. You're living good. The last question I got for you is, what's next? Everyone wants to know, like, I know we talked a little bit about maybe going on reality TV, but if you had the crystal ball right here, people want to know from a career perspective, from a life move perspective, like, try and predict it, manifest it 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. Give me a timeline of what you think is next for Rachel.
I know. I think it's crazy because now that the whirlwind of this is over, I genuinely have to sit down and like think about what I want, because I feel like me going into The Bachelor and me now, I'm like, it's so different. Obviously, I'm going to be 30 next year. So like there are things that I have to like really sit down and figure out what I want for like having kids and getting married and what I want. So I think right now, I really feel like the path I'm going to go on is like going back to work, wherever that takes me. And then like,
when you say
really,
go back to work, like aviation?
Yeah. And really just like hoping for a family, like, cause I'm kind of needing to do that soon. So that would be the manifestation. Crystal ball, who knows? Like I could go back and something could come up and who knows, but that is really what I've always wanted. So I think I kind of need to get back to what I wanted in the beginning.
Amazing.
So we'll see, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, don't put too much pressure on yourself along the way. You have plenty of time.
Thank you.
You're doing great. And it's been so fun to talk to you about all the moving parts and, of course, the overlap and the community we both are in and from. So you got to love it. I'm sure we'll talk about a few things off camera, too.
The secret.
But let's wrap with a trading secret. So a trading secret's unique to you. It's a piece of advice you would give someone else, given the experiences you've gone through. It could be career, it could be life, it could be personal, it could be dating. One trading secret from Rachel Recchia.
I wish I had like a quote or like a way to say like a secret, but I think the one thing about me, like regardless of what anyone thinks about me, is like I've always just been so resilient and like able to look forward, like going through school and like hitting roadblocks with like my career and being in a male dominated field. I feel like I've really just had to always push past it, even when I think I can't. Like I have to keep going. And same with The Bachelor, and like, why does she keep going back? And I just feel like I always just have hope and I'm resilient, and I wish I had like better advice, but that's like just the one thing that's gotten me through, like just not be embarrassed and just keep pushing forward.
I love it.
I don't know.
No, I love it. I think I always like to say like what my trading secret is, and it's funny that you said that because it's rare that I repeat the trading secret. But what I was going to say before you said it was, in this space of reality TV, there are some people that get completely screwed, right? Those people exist, and it's a very small percentage, but they do. A lot of people, though, get all different types of, they go through all different cycles. And there are people that become the leads and get these opportunities that you did, and it's like smooth sailing, no hurdles, no challenges. I feel like every single part of reality TV that you have been a part of and in this world, you have had to deal with like massive challenges. Like some that are obvious, some that aren't so obvious, right? I think some that are obvious, you know, of course, what happened when you were on The Bachelor. some that are obvious. There's 2 bachelorettes, one of the only times there's 2 bachelorettes for a full season ever. I think some of the things that aren't as obvious are like, dealing with the fact that, there's 2 options, dealing with the things that are said, comparing 2 women, dealing with another relationship, again, in the public eye, not working, engagement, not working out. It takes a very special person, especially in this space where there are egos flying around everywhere, to be as supportive to Gabby as you have been, and to be in that seat cheering her on at Dancing with the Stars. That takes a special person, and to continue to be that person through all of these wild challenges, it's a true reflection of you. And I also think it's a true reflection to anyone listening. Like, no matter how many times you think you're getting hit in the face, there's a reason for it. You'll grow through it, you'll become better through it, and you'll become a perspective and a person that you probably never imagined you would become, like through strength. So keep going. When you go back to becoming a captain on a commercial airline or a private airline, you're going to come back, talk about the industry. But in the meantime, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I love it. All right. Where can everyone find everything you have going on?
All my handles are Pilot Rachel. Can't forget it.
That's right. Twitter,
Watch Perfect Mesh
TikTok, IG. Go give her a follow and follow her story. Rachel, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.